This is developmental psych project. We are interviewing a person aged from 20 to 60, middle-aged person, and I have some questions.
So should I just, do I overthink this, or do I just
No,
respond? First thing comes to mind.
First thing that comes to mind.
Got it.
And respond. Okay.
Right. Sounds good.
So what was your biggest accomplishment, like, throughout your life?
Biggest accomplishment?
Yeah.
Well, at the moment, I feel like that, moving from Louisiana to California was a big accomplishment, because it's changed my life tremendously, and the impact has been great. So that's probably was a good accomplishment. And then getting my, college degree was another one, because it just changes your life, So.
Next question.
Sure.
What was your best memory of your childhood?
Best memory. I remember the first time we moved to our new house that my father built. That was on the lake. We had bought the land. They were working on the house, and there's a little hill, and we're standing on the hill, and I was looking out over the lake, and I was looking back at the house, and it was just like a fresh start for our family, and it was just a memory that I have that's very vivid, and it's been good. Think so.
Cool. So, third question: What did you want to be as a child, and how did that affect your choices in the future?
I always wanted to be an astronaut when I was little. What did it affect my choices? I mean, I spent some time taking a lot of science classes, thinking about my physical physique. Always worried about that, and keeping up with my math. So the decisions that I made, and also I wanted to get a college degree, so that really kind of motivated me, propelled me to be able to do those things. Never became an astronaut, but sure would have liked to.
So, fourth question: do you believe that a close relationship with parents in an early life stage builds confidence in the child?
Absolutely. A child void of a father, for example, especially boys, creates a lot of insecurity and not confidence, and so it causes a lot of problems as later. No, and then with daughters is very important. They need to have confidence. We need to be able to spend time with them and develop a relationship. It's very important to have that security, like they feel belonged to, and they feel secure in themselves, and without those things, I think that's it's devastating to kids growing up, actually.
Yeah. Fifth question: what did you make a difference in someone's life? If so, like, how did it affect you?
Well, Suzanne and I used to do some Habitat for Humanity. We used to do things to build homes for people. I felt good about that. That was a great thing. And then, mentoring some people, growing up in my 20s, people that I used to hang around with, keeping them on the right path. So those were things that I felt like I made a difference in people's lives. And also, when I worked at the nonprofit, we spent time developing software for kids to learn about California, the phenomena of California, the animals and plants and trees and, topographies of different of California's habitats. And I feel like that made a huge difference to the inner city kids, people who were involved, to really learn to appreciate the environment. So I feel like that was a great thing. I know we had lots of impact on that. So.
Cool. So, sixth question: what individual made the greatest difference in your life, and what moral values distinguished this person?
So, two people I can think of right away: Joy Ludwig and Thomas Baird. So, Joy was my high school friend's mother. She was like my second mother. She made an impact on me because she was able to have communication, to be able to talk to me and meet me where I was as far as a teenager, and try to relate to me that way. And I always had good advice, what to do. And she had a demeanor about her that was very calm, and she always listened, and I really appreciate that. Tom is one of my friends. Growing up, we've been friends for 30 years probably. He's the kind of person that is very non-judgmental. He actually would meet people where they are, no matter what situation they were in. If they were down and out, or if they were being successful, he would always meet them where they were, with no judgments. And I really it really made a difference in my life, because I understand that's the way I would like to be, the way I like to see other people be, and so it really made an impact. And I needed something at that time, actually, to think about that, So Tom and Joy.
Cool. So, number 7, how is the world similar to when you were growing up?
Similar?
Yeah.
Similar. Similar. Well, the thing that's similar are the things that we're dealing with daily as human beings, the human condition, dealing with the things that we deal with, feeling belonged, accomplishment, planning our routes, being successful. They're all the same things that people go through since time are the same that we are today. Those are very important aspects. We need to be in a family unit. We need to be part of something that's bigger than ourselves to make us feel better. We can never be alone. We need to have a sense of accomplishment. Those things are pretty consistent.
And how is it different from when you were growing up?
Yeah, one of the major differences right now that's impacting humans, I think, is population and the acceleration of steps of learning. With technology, things are moving much faster. And I think the impact of technology also is affecting our brains, so we're changing. And I think that those things, the isolation, always on our phones, overstimulation, I think those things are very different than they were when I grew up. Things are a little bit slower, but all generations are going to say such things. I just think we're getting to a certain point now where it's just out of control.
Well, you work with computers, so do you believe that that's affecting you
Yes,
as well?
Me, of course. Is it making our lives better? No. The fact that we can be able to do a search on our phones to find information is good and it's awesome. But the question is, are we retaining that and bringing it into our brain and making lifelong synapses in our brain to be able to recall that information? And the answer is no. Because there's a book called The Shallows. It's very interesting. It talks about how we learn about things in school. For example, I'm going to learn something about psychology. If I'm learning something about biology, we're only learning the very surface of stuff. So that's where the shallows comes in. We're in the shallows. We learn very little, and we never get really deep into the topic. So in essence, we're not really investigating or curious about one particular thing. Unless someone, there's definitely situations where that's not the case. But in most cases, it feels like we're just, getting just conversational information about a topic and not necessarily really delving into it. So I think that's the problem.
Final question. If you could give one piece of advice to teenagers today, what would it be?
Kill your phone. No, I'm just kidding. I think it's, enjoy the times that you have when you're young, and try not to grow up too fast. Try to really enjoy them, because eventually this all change, and it's your opportunity to do that. So I would think that that would be important, to slow down and to maybe spend time with friends and really build relationships. Try not to grow up too fast.
Cool.
That's it.
Well, thank you for your time. That was very insightful.
Of course. Hopefully.
Yeah.
All right.
What is your biggest accomplishment?
Probably my biggest accomplishment is after high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do in terms of a career, and I went to community college for a little bit and realized I didn't really want to do engineering, and I decided I wanted to do advertising, and I chose a school, and now I'm going to school for advertising, and I'm doing design as like my college career, and I think that's pretty cool.
What is your best memory?
My best memory is probably back when I was in elementary school, like probably second grade. It was like a Christmas morning in Moraga with my sister, my mom, and dad. That was still when we were part of a cohesive family.
Okay, what is your biggest goal for the next 5 years?
My biggest goal for the next 5 years is to get a good job in advertising, work my way up, and then eventually start my own advertising agency.
Okay, does close relationship with parents in early life build a more confident child later in life?
I think it really depends on the level of parenting that the parents are kind of like executing on their children. I believe having close parenting and the strong family ties is really good for like that developmental section of childhood. However, I feel like if it's more of a toxic environment, it can actually breed depression, can breed a lot of different other kind of insecurities that may be issues later on in life. So it really depends on the level of parenting that I think goes into it, but generally I think yes.
Okay, can one person make a significant positive change in the world?
I think something that's really cool about human nature is we are a species that is very dependent on kind of observing other human beings to allow us to make stronger metacognitive decisions. So I think if you have more people acting positively, it's more likely to cause other people to kind of see and then follow that example. So I think the more people that act positively, the better it is, because I think, you know, we live in a group mentality. So if you get enough people doing positive things, I think even just making one person's day better, if that's all I can do during that day, you know, at least I've affected more than just myself. And I think in that way, yes, it's making the world a slightly better place every time I do that.
Okay, last question. What individual made the greatest difference in your life, and what moral values distinguished this person?
I think that had to be my mom. Like, obviously, I think that's like a lot of people's lives. It's their parents who make the biggest impact. I think for my mom, it's just her ability to cope with adversity and push through the difficult times, even though sometimes you don't see that light at the end of the tunnel. You're still able to work hard and not give up, and I think that's really admirable. Yeah, that's why.
Okay.